Okay, so everyone has a major issue right now, and that is work, and lots of it. See, work takes lots of time to do, and we need to figure out how to minimize that time. So today I will be telling you in this video how to assist AI to help you minimize the amount of time it's taken for your work. And with that in mind, let's get into this video. Okay, so what if a project that takes 3 months could take only 3 hours of work? Okay, that does sound a little exaggerated, and yeah, sometimes it could be like that, but most of the times you could take months of work and just minimize it into at least a few days of work. So how do you do that? Let's see now. Okay, so first, before getting AI assisted into our work, we need to realize why work takes so long. As you can see here, this is the timeline of how work would go. So first, you'd have research, which is reading documents, finding information, and comparing those said documents and information together. And then organize. You have to sort your findings. You have to build an outline. You have to group all the related ideas together. And then you have to prioritize which one of those sources that you just read and compiled are actually important. And then, so you have to make your first ever drafts, or I guess like prototypes, and you have to rewrite, format, and summarize. And you're gonna have to do this lots and lots of times during this process. And then you're gonna have to create, which you're going to have to create the first actual product that you're gonna do from this project. And then there's review. You are going to have to read back through everything you just did to see if your product is what you need, if it's. And obviously you have to, check the facts and spot inconsistencies. And again, it adds a lot onto the already amount of steps that you need to do for this one project. And then there's revise. You need to incorporate feedback, and you have to reformat again and then recheck again after doing the editing. Okay, and then repeat. So you have to repeat that exact same process again and relearn the same things that you just did for another project. And all of this together can take total 9 weeks. As you can see, research would take 2 weeks. Planning would take estimated 2 weeks again. So that's 4 weeks there. Drafting, 2 weeks. Production, 3 weeks. And then revisions, 1 more extra week. Together, that's 9 weeks total. And listen, most of the times you don't have that much time to do a project. Okay, now furthermore, what part should the AI handle in your project? Now, you can see, there's A, research, B, writing, C, repetitive production, E, all of the above. Now, you might think, okay, research, find some articles for you, go through them and summarize them and all that stuff. Writing, it can write your first draft for you and do all that. And then C, it can do repetitive production, which is basically just do stuff that is really repetitive so that you don't have to. And then D, all of the above. But the better question is, what should the AI really handle? So you can see, AI tends to help most with work that is repetitive, information heavy, or a first draft. The parts that consume hours without needing your judgment just yet. Moving on. Human plus AI, not human versus AI. As you can see, the left here, this is what a human can do in the project. And as the right here, this is what an AI can do in the project. Let's go through them step by step. So, human, strategy. What are you going to do for this project? How you're going to lay it out, and what you're going to tackle step by step. And then there's judgment, which is what the AI gives, right? So the AI gives you a input, and you're the one that's like, is that good? Is that bad? I want to change a couple of things. You're the one in charge of what the AI's input, like the final output is. And then there's creativity. You're the one who decides the creativity level of the project. You're the one that comes up with the ideas for this project. Because, otherwise, using AI for that will not really be that helpful, because AI tends to not really be that creative. So that's why human involvement is highly needed for those areas. Final decisions. Now, final decisions is basically just, taking the entire output that the AI gave you, and you're going to decide whether it's good or bad, or just meh, you're going to decide if it's good enough to publish or not. Now, the AI can do some research for you, which doesn't take that much time when you do it with AI, and when you do it manually, it takes a lot of time before you even get to it. And then organization. AI is really good at organizing all the sources together, categorizing them, and so that it's easier to just work, because messy project isn't always going to be really good. So that's why you need to organize all these things using something like AI. Okay, first drafts. The AI can make the first few drafts for you, which is good. Again, that's less time consumption from your end. Summarization. The AI can summarize for you, and again, like I said, from the human perspective, what you have to do is check if that summarization is good enough or if it misses key points. And then repetitive tasks. The AI, like I said before, can handle very repetitive, information heavy, and just overall boring things that you're gonna have to do over and over again really easily. And then finally, the AI can do analysis and variations, which basically the AI can give you feedback and realize what's wrong with this project, what could improve, and give you good feedback. Same project, same scope. As you can see, this, for example, is a project that takes 9 weeks to do. What if we just apply AI here? 3 weeks, 5 days, 1 day. Now, to take this into perspective, if you really had a project that would take 9 weeks, if you use AI to not just automate it, but just basically fine-tune your project and optimize the project that's going to take 9 weeks, you can most certainly turn 9 weeks into just 1 day, saving you so much more time, and honestly, lots of headspace to think about your project and be creative with it. Okay, say this is what I want to do, right? This is the idea, and what I want to do is I want to create a complete YouTube educational video. What I'd have to do, the traditional method, which would take many hours, is I would have to find a topic first, analyze the audience, write a script, plan a thumbnail, build an editing plan, research it, create an outline, generate title ideas, create a description, and review everything all over again. And this, like I said, would take many, many hours to do. And then this is how the AI-assisted workflow would work. So this is the same video, but a way different path. So let's just say the idea, I made the idea and I give it to the AI. Let's just say, what would the AI do in a certain topic with research? The AI can help you gather information and organize information, like I just said. And it can structure all those things together, basically categorize them and make them a lot more, I don't know, just easier to handle and overall neat. Draft. The AI can make your first path script. The AI can generate titles or generate thumbnail ideas or generate hooks or angle variations. All these things that can be placed in video. And this could also not only be applied just for creators, but this can again be applied for the workforce. Like for example, if you're working on a project like maybe you're constructing some sort of business email and you want to sound friendly or you want to sound, I don't know, more professional. The AI can definitely help you structure that very easily. Analyze. The AI can help you, like I said, analyze weaknesses, weak points, and look for opportunities in your project timeline to see what can excel and what you need to maybe cut out, because when we do a project, there's going to be some unnecessary parts that we're not going to really need, and with AI you can ask it if this part is unnecessary and if this part should be added here. Okay, refine. Human reviews, edits, verifies, and it improves the output. Like I said, you need to refine what the AI gives you, because the AI isn't perfect. It can make mistakes. It's clearly, if you open Gemini or ChatGPT, they say at the bottom, AI can make mistakes. So what you need to do as a human is review what it gave you, edit what it gave you, verify if it is true or not, and then improve the output on your own. And then, moving on, same steps, a different pace. Basically the same thing as before. Without AI, you have to do research manually, manual notes, manual outline, first draft, rewriting, formatting, analysis, and even more revisions. Now with AI, you can optimize those things. You can do AI-assisted research, organize notes, rapid outlines, first drafts, human editing, of course, and reduced formatting, an AI-assisted analysis, and you could do focused revisions instead of just more revisions. AI doesn't replace the work, it only changes where your time goes. So for example, if we just take this illustration here, before 80% repetitive and 20% actual work. So you have to do more repetitive stuff than the actual work when you do it manually. After, when you use AI, you have to only do the repetitive stuff 20%, and you have to do 80% the thinking yourself. Okay. Say you have a marketing campaign that you need to do within 2 weeks. So you have 2 weeks to create a marketing campaign. How would you approach it? So say you do everything manually. You use AI for research, which I know some of you already do. You use AI for research and drafts, or you build an AI assisted workflow. From what we've learned so far, what do you think is the best? What do you think? What do you think is the best answer for this question? Now, in my opinion, I think that building an AI assisted workflow is good, because when you build the workflow, the biggest gains rarely come from using AI for one task. They come from chaining several AI-assisted steps together, like research, drafts, variations, analysis, and revision, and all that, into one workflow or one chain, which gives you a massive advantage in terms of workflow and timeline. There are 6 kinds of repetitive wait. So this is mainly what AI is good at. So research, brainstorming, drafting, analysis, repetitive work, and transformation. So basically all the things that would take you lots and lots of time to do for yourself, and is very, very repetitive, that you have to do over and over and over again for every single project, leaving you, like we showed before, very little thinking space. What stays human? Okay, so AI, as we know, like it says here, AI moves fast, and someone still has to steer. So basically, AI is a really powerful tool at the end of the day, but it's really, really fast. So you, again, need human involvement for, AI assisted work. So judgment, as you can say, judgment is something that you need to do yourself. You need to judge whether the output is good or is relevant. And then taste, you need to, refine your taste and see, hey, if this works, if this output works for this audience, or, you need to have your own taste involving this process, and to make it into a creative process rather than just an AI automated workflow. Strategy. You need to, again, strategize the entire workflow. You could use AI to strategize, but you need to be the main person who strategizes the entire workflow. And then there's the originality part. You have to be original when you're making stuff with AI. You can't just copy someone else's work. That's plagiarism. And for you to make an actual good product using AI, you have to be original, completely original. You can't use anyone else's work, otherwise it defeats the whole meaning of doing that project using AI. Okay, fact checking. You need to fact check everything that the AI gives you, because, like I said, AI can sometimes be wrong, and you need to make sure that what you're giving is actually verifiable and is actually true. And then responsibility. As a human that uses AI, you need to be responsible for the AI's output. You need to be responsible, about responsibility. When you're creating stuff with AI, you have to be responsible with that creation. Like, I'm not even joking. This is a main topic that I'm probably going to cover later on this channel, which is AI misuse. People need to realize that you have to be really responsible using AI, because it's, again, a really powerful tool, and you need to use it correctly. And that's what I hope to do in this video. As you can see at the bottom here, AI is the fast assistant, and you are the one still deciding where it goes. All right. This is the formula that I've made right here. So AI speed into human judgment into good workflow equals massive time savings. So as you can see here, the tool isn't the advantage, the workflow is. Again, this is something that's connected with AI misuse, which is that, like, as you can see, the tool isn't what matters. It's what matters what you do with that tool and if you do it honestly and you do it correctly. Okay, let's see here. What task in your life takes you way too long? Since I'm a YouTuber, I'd say, making YouTube videos. Go. Okay, now this is how you would break that into smaller steps. Now you can imagine anything here like writing an email or researching or creating a marketing campaign or anything like that in your field of work. So as you can see, this is how you would break it into steps. You would make YouTube videos, then you would research them, then you would organize them, and then you would draft them, and then you would review them, and then you would finalize. So it's about using AI to break these things into smaller steps that are manageable. Overall, just lesser time taking rather than just doing everything all at once by yourself. Okay, and with that, we have concluded this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I do hope that you learned some things from this video. Anything regarding AI, anything maybe something that assisted your workflow, let me know. Comment down below, your opinion and stuff. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you do want to watch more of these types of videos, subscribe, like, share to someone who might need this video, and also, oh yeah, make sure to have that notification bell on this channel so you don't miss any other video. I will be uploading almost daily. And yeah, that's all I have to say this video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.